Hello everyone, we're right now in the Valve office in Bellevue, that's Washington, USA, and we are going to talk to CSGO developer. It's David.
Brian.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
So first of all, let's start with the idea that you just came with the idea to create a new title that would be new to CS 1.6, and how did you came with that idea?
So the idea is that Counter-Strike 1.6 and Counter-Strike Source, they're both esports. And as any kind of sport, you can't just change the rules of the game. So if you look at basketball or baseball and so on, you can't change the size of the field, you can't necessarily change the ball. So Counter-Strike 1.6 has its rules, has its standard type of gameplay, the same thing with Counter-Strike Source. But over the years, both pros and the rest of the Counter-Strike community have come up with different ways that they like to play the game. Little tweaks to gameplay, things that might make the game move more swiftly, might change the dynamics in certain maps, so adjustments that would benefit the game. Instead of trying to force these previous versions of Counter-Strike to adopt new rules, it seemed like it was the best opportunity to make a new version of Counter-Strike. So Counter-Strike Go is developed with the idea that there are advances in gameplay that ought to be present, ought to be part of Counter-Strike, and we're doing that without forcing that on all the other players.
How did you come up with the idea to create this new gaming title with communication and assistance for the professional players? I think they were mainly US players and mainly CS source players. Why did you choose this category of players?
So as we went through development of Counter-Strike Go, we're really taking input from as many different communities as we can, both from amateur communities and from the pros. And we really weren't necessarily searching out specifically Counter-Strike Source players or Counter-Strike 1.6 players. It's really
you just took the players you had right there, right?
Players who are, well, in some cases players who are local, but honestly there are pro forums, for example, where professional players can weigh in on the development of Counter-Strike. So any pro who wanted to be involved in the development from that standpoint had basically a direct line to us. So throughout the development of Counter-Strike Go and at different moments during its development, we had more Counter-Strike Source players, maybe more Counter-Strike 1.6 players. They've all weighed in, and they've all had an opportunity to discuss it, regardless of whether they're in the US, international, and so on. So through that forum, through direct emailing with us, and also through all of the other forums, we've been able to get some feedback from the pros. And that's you have probably some salient examples of that. Obviously, about Volcano. He's been around, but we've had other players too, and they've all had very interesting contributions to the game.
But are you going to make the game closer to look like and feel like CS 1.6, or you are fine with how the game works right now? So
Counter-Strike Global Offensive, we're not done, right? And the release of the game is one major milestone in the development of the game. And it's something that we felt it was time to do because we needed more of the Counter-Strike community to weigh in. But from the dynamics of grenades to the specific recoil of weapons, in some cases we've adopted something closer to 1.6, in some cases closer to Source, and in other cases it's a hybrid, or it's something completely
different. It's like let's all the players from the two games unite in the CSGO, right?
Absolutely. So the hope is to unite those communities, to really give a breath of fresh air into Counter-Strike. Honestly, Counter-Strike players are very talented, and they value how much there is to learn about the game, the depth of the game. Without a high skill ceiling, without a lot to learn, the game isn't all that interesting. Everybody becomes a master and then everyone moves on. So in a lot of cases, the changes that you see in Counter-Strike Go aren't necessarily changes to simplify or changes to make it more like 1.6 or Source. The changes to the game are to add some more depth, right? To give more stuff for these experts to learn.
I've got it.
Yeah.
In 2010 there were like $1 million invested in the prize money for tournaments in CS 1.6. In 11th there was like 500,000, and this year it's like 250,000. So the prize pool is getting decreasing. Do you think that in CSGO we will have that much big prize pools for the overseas tournament worldwide, like we had for CS 1.6 in 2010?
So the prize pool has been changing over time, but something that's important to note is that as Counter-Strike Global Offensive has come out, there are more and more tournaments that are starting to pick it up with more prize money. So DreamHack, for example,
Yeah,
recently
it
announced
has 40,000 of prize money.
exactly right, and that's more than they had previously. So there is that upward swing already for Counter-Strike Go. Now we can't tell people what types of tournaments to make, but they've already demonstrated through their own actions, even in the first month.
But actually going to support these tournament organizers like you did the International with Dota 2, do you have maybe some plans or any thoughts to do the same thing with CSGO?
Dota is a different type of game. Dota 2 is a different type of game from Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and the communities are very different from each other. Counter-Strike has always been very community-driven, especially in the tournaments. So at the moment, the community is really taking charge. They're already forming their own tournaments and becoming organized in that way. Again, the DreamHack announcement is one good example. The other is the Esports World Championships, which the qualifiers are coming up this weekend. So the Counter-Strike community is already driving its tournament scene. There isn't really a need at the moment for us to take over that and to make our own tournament.
CS 1.6, you don't have your own game host servers. Yeah, but in Dota 2, you have your own servers. Are you going to give an opportunity for like other companies to host game servers, because all combined they earn like $1 million per month for just game hosting?
So at the moment, Counter-Strike Global Offensive is being hosted by a combination. Some of the servers, if you were to quick match, for example, into the competitive or casual game modes, or arms race or demolition, in those situations you'd be either joining a Valve server or you'd be joining one of the partners with Valve who host servers in that case. But the community itself always has a much larger pool of servers, just because, again, the community drives so much about Counter-Strike in the first place.
Yeah, I just mean the situation you have your own team and you want to book yourself a server for Clone Wars, for Scrims, something like that. Will you provide the server, or they will have to buy it from a different company, like it is right now with CS 1.6?
At the moment, the community has already started to develop its own system in that respect. So again, we've provided a specific experience for players with our own servers. That's currently the plan for that. But I can't speak to how that'll be going forward.
That's fine. Do you have any plans to make the CSGO maybe in long run like a free-to-play game with some in-game modifications? I'm sure you heard about CS Online, and the model it is used. It's like the model in Dota, but for esports there is a esport mode, and you don't hold it weapons, stuff like that.
Sure. Counter-Strike is great because you don't necessarily have to have played a long time to have some kind of an advantage like in other games. You don't have experience that carries on from one match to another, and you don't have other...
Have fun and play
exactly, right. You just have fun, you have a very specific set of stuff. So the plan is to keep Counter-Strike competitive in exactly that way. We don't want people to be able to pay for an advantage in the game. We don't want people to be able to, have some leg up on some other player.
It's not going to be a game like Point Blank when you have to invest money in order to
sure.
to stay on top.
Right, of course. That being said, it's hard to tell where the community is going to go in the future. So we've already announced, for example, that there will be a map workshop. All right, a map workshop where people can produce new maps and distribute them more easily to servers.
Sounds nice.
And so really all we're trying to do is get the community more involved in its own game, give you more tools to produce content. And so we don't obviously, it's hard to tell at this point what Counter-Strike will look like a year now, or 2 years, or 5 years, or 10 years from now. But the community is already taking the lead, and we're just trying to produce more tools for them to participate.
You said that you collected a lot of data during the development of CSGO.
Sure did.
What kind of data did you collect, and how do you use it?
So it's easier to talk about how much data we collected, and then we can talk about some of the other stuff. So during the beta for Counter-Strike, we were collecting data from every bullet fired by every player. So every single time you fired a bullet, we knew where you were, where the opponent was standing, what weapons you were using, where in the recoil sequence the weapon was, what part of the body you hit, and so on. And the idea was that we really wanted to be able to tell from the moment we made some change to recoil, whether that was actually improving people's accuracy, whether that was actually, whether there were actually issues with people hitting, for example, with their first bullets with headshots and so on. And so whenever we'd make a change to the game, we wanted concrete data to show that we had actually achieve the goals of that modification. So that's one form of data, every round outcome. You could imagine the level of granularity there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So we have, at the moment, pretty clear representation of how the Counter-Strike community at large plays the game, what weapons they tend to use, what maps they tend to play, and how those round outcomes tend to be. And so when we make a change, for example, to the recoil sequence with an AK-47, you would expect, for example, if you make the recoil harder to control, that the T side would lose more rounds. We get a really clear picture as we go through every time we make a change, not just how that one change affected that one weapon, but the broader impact of those changes, round outcomes, and how long
that looks really impressive. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think that's it for now. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for developing esports. Thank you for developing this new game, and I hope that it will be good and huge.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
a
very
lot. Bye bye.